just like a model, leading the way and they follow. I'm turning it up, burn it up like a sauna, and I'm gonna be who I wanna. Freaking the bad like I'm crystal, freaking the mood like an idol. I'm turning it up, burn it up like a sauna, and I'm gonna be who I wanna. She gon' be that chick. All about that grind, cause I wanna be that chick. All about that grind, cause I wanna be that chick. All about that grind, cause I wanna be that. I want moves like whoa, hella style, confidence. I want swag like hey, slaying in every way. I'm working all day, I'm not, don't need no help. I'ma be just fine. I'm all about that grind, cause I wanna be that chick. 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 I wanna be that chick.
You ain't no damn body.
You are without doubt the worst pirate I've ever heard of.
Another little pissant nobody who is trying to make a damn name for themselves.
But you have heard of me.
No, I'm the bee, like from nature.
Now the moment you've all been waiting for. The royal hostess with the mostest. The queen bee with the money, honey.
BeePlus.
That's right. And it's time you all bow to the real queen bee.
Comes the most beautiful bee in the universe.
You're stealing all the bees just because you're jealous?
No, that's just a bonus. My actual plan is to capture all the queens. Their hives will then have no choice but to follow me.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. Welcome. Yes, I know my intro is extra long because I figured it gives people a chance to come on in and let those notifications go out. So I figured why not to make it a little bit longer. So hopefully that doesn't make anybody too upset. I get a little I'm like, oh my God, is it over yet? But let me say hello to people first. And I probably should take these headphones off so I can hear as well. Hey, Texas Cindy, Kelly Ann, of course, Rhodey Gal, Meatball, Roddy, Shalima. Hello to everybody. So today, let's see. I have a couple things and I need to figure out which ones I'm going to do because I can't be on too long tonight. But I have one particular video that's really, really short. Oh, Tucker, stay safe. Stay safe, please. I saw some videos and pictures of what it looks like, and I'm not sure how bad it is where you are, but sending positive vibes your way that you and your family are safe, and it's not too much of a mess. But I saw that, I was like, oh my God. So yeah, any of you guys that are in that area, definitely positive vibes your way. I'll keep you guys in my thoughts. But I have a short video that I found that I was kind of excited about because it's from right after Natasha started that 20K fund. So if you haven't noticed, the topic, of course, we're going to be now, that's what I call grifting, volume 1, which is about Natasha Cooper. Now, I know that she says that people are obsessed and they don't have any other content, whatever. No, see, the difference though, Natasha, is that I just want to do some commentary and give my insights into how I see things in the situation and have a conversation. I'm not here to yell and scream and swear at her. I'm interested in the situation. I think it's very interesting about how these communities seem to pop up here on YouTube and they become this whole little society of their own. And it's very interesting to me, the psychology behind stuff like this. But I was also part of that community for a little bit. So, hey, Kimberly. So I have I have a lot to say about it. And she just happens to be my topic right now. I mean, I'll move on to something else as things come along. I've talked about other things in the past, but as it stands, I made a decision. I'm not going to be a clip channel. I don't want to be a clip channel. I go live. So or else it's clips that I think are super important. I'll no longer be grabbing them. But when I do grab important ones, I'll put them together in compilations and we can go over it like I'm doing here, which is how I want to do things from now on. So I'm trying to go through all of the clips that I have so I can get them off my phone, But I did find a really interesting clip. Hi, Rhodey. so I wanted to play that particular video for you guys first. And then there's some of her MK Ultra at its finest, which I thought was interesting. She was talking about it today. But I thought it was a particularly cringe part of it. And then I have a 28-minute video of clips that, because, you know, I talk a lot. I want to make it very clear. I have to pause from time to time for fair use. Sometimes I just talk over Natasha's silences. I also want to tell you guys that, yeah, I can't be on too long tonight. So I probably will only do about 10 to 15 minutes of that other video, which will equate to probably about an hour and a half, which is still plenty of time. But it is a 28-minute video. So I'll probably be coming on either tomorrow or the next day to get the rest of that done. But first, I wanted to share this video because, like, I didn't even know I had this. But while I have your attention, if you would be so kind as to hit that like button, thumbs up or thumbs down, whichever one floats your boat. I mean, I'm not picky, and I don't like button shame. You know, you do you. So if you could take a moment to hit that. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing to my channel. Hi, Cool Gamer. I am trying to, this is my grand gesture to everybody. I've been coming on here consistently with content. This is what I want to do. I know that I've been inconsistent with it, and you guys deserve better. So I'm working on getting all of that for you guys. So I'm on here more often because you guys deserve that. And yeah, I also have memberships. So I know that I have a mod in here, and I know that she probably has that link. So if you would like to join memberships, that's a great way to also support the channel. And of course, any and all, you know, financial help is always appreciated, but not required. I always like to put that at the front because, you know, Natasha says I make a whole lot of money off her name, which could not be further from the truth. But I mean, if she's saying it, then, like, you know, why shouldn't I? And hopefully, I know that 2 nights ago, I know I'm like rambling, but I felt bad because there was somebody who was upset about not this past time, but I remember in the back of my head. So when I'm sharing videos, I don't see the screen or stuff like that. So I'm not seeing if you super chat, and I don't want anybody to feel ignored because you're not being ignored. I just don't see it. So if my mods could send that to me if they can. My phone is being wonky, so half the time I don't get it in time. So hopefully I will. But if anybody does send a super chat, just somebody please let me know so that person doesn't feel ignored, because that person should feel the opposite of ignored. Hi, Boots Mama. And Blissful with Texas. And I think I said hello to everybody so far, but let me get this video up and running. Let's see. I just thought this one was a particularly interesting one. I swear to you, I'm good at this. Okay. I name these clip videos some really weird stuff just because I put them up on YouTube as like private, just for my own sanity of like getting these clips off of my phone. Okay, let's see. Okay, so guys, like I said, this was, I'm not sure of exactly when this was, but this was shortly after she started the 20K fund, and people started to get a little suspicious of it. And there were people starting to ask questions. And she says some things here that I think are really interesting. So without further ado, let's get started here. And like I said, I do have to pause for fair use purposes. And plus, I like to talk, which most of you have noticed by now. So, all right.
And it will be a collective effort and decision as to what is done with any leftover funds.
Talking about the 20K.
Hey, words of wisdom. Amy, exactly.
And this is a perfect grift. Perfect grift.
Also, I have no idea how long this is going to take.
Bingo.
I have no idea. I've never done this before. So I don't know how long it's going to take. But, you know, you either support me or you don't.
Bingo. Okay. So did you guys hear that? It's basically what she just said. And it's a perfect grift, too. I mean, it's genius on her part, but we know that she's like the master grifter. So, you know, she's maxed out that level. So, I mean, I shouldn't be surprised. But basically what she's saying is when all is said and done, any remaining funds will be decided as by the community as to what happens with it. Now, I'm not sure what I'm baffled as to how we've evolved from like what she originally said the 20K was for to where we are now, and it just doesn't make sense. But more importantly, she says, I don't know how long this is going to take. So, I mean, it could be forever. So she does say that. And then she says, you either support me or you don't, which I think is really interesting because that's basically her communicating, you either support me and don't question anything or you don't. And I think that's a really crappy thing to put on people to make them feel like, if you support Natasha, then you're going to donate money and you're going to shut up and keep your mouth shut and not ask questions. That's really what she's insinuating here. And then the rest of this is just some of her more cringeworthy MK Ultra because, she was saying today that we were making fun of it and nobody she keeps saying this stuff. Like she keeps saying that people are making fun of the fact that nobody's donating. Nobody has said that. Nobody has said that, Natasha. And it's the same stuff over and over again. And what if any of her supporters are listening right now? What I want to stress the most to them is that please keep your ears open and think to yourself, does this not sound weird? It's the same thing over and over again. And do you hear anybody saying that she's not getting donations? Quite the contrary, actually. We're saying she does get donations. So I'm not sure what that's about. And then there was this one time where she was borderline crying because she said people were making fun of her MK Ultra, which if what you're about to see, if she thinks that that's serious and that's something that people shouldn't laugh at, then she lives in a different reality than the rest of us, hands down. And before we go any further, I do want to say in the next video we're going to be doing, there are a few creators mentioned because Natasha's talking about them. And I would like to politely and respectfully ask people to not discuss those creators in my chat because that's not what this live is about. And that's not the purpose of me including it. And I might do a little commentary on it, but I know that the two that I'm thinking of that I know for certain are in here. I know that there are people that have issues with, but I just want it left out of my chat because I know that everybody likes different people and blah, blah, blah. And it's fine. And if I'm talking about it, then we can have a conversation. But if I'm not able to look at the chat, I just would prefer if that was kept out of it. But I don't think anybody's going to say anything. I don't think so. You guys are generally really respectful. So let's look at this this MK Ultra stuff, right? I mean, maybe it'll be it'll pass on to me. Maybe me playing it will work. No, I'm just kidding, guys. Don't listen to that stuff. All right.
I'm not only asking, I'm demanding.
Wow.
I demand you send me all your money, and I'm going to do my MK Ultra mind control to make sure it happens. And I'm going to do that at the same time that I'm thumbs up or thumbs down. This video. God, now I've made my head hurt.
Her eye makeup does match her shirt, though, so, kudos. I respect that. Oh, my.
Y'all, I gave myself a damn headache.
And this was before she stopped being completely entertaining at all. She used to make me laugh. This is in November or December. I think November.
Linda, thank you.
Oh, how times have changed.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't know how much more subtle I can be, but that slap hurt. Dalton, I'm going to need you to rub my neck. I just gave myself a headache. I was trying to use my Michelob Ultra and give my code word to my mods to drop my link, and I gave myself a headache.
I just thought this was funny, and you guys could get a nice laugh out of it.
Scarlet.
Yes, I named my playlist here Recline and Dine. How do you... Is this it? Is this it? Is this what I named it? Is it going to go... Okay. Okay, I kept that in. Nightmare is one of the subscribers here, and I kept this in because this is one of her funniest moments, and Nightmare is a sub that has been supportive over on this channel for a very long time. So I figured we could get a laugh out of that. But let's begin. Shall we?
When what I recorded, nobody had super chatted you.
So
zero was the number. So they're trying to say that nobody super chats me anymore, and so they didn't have anything to count. Okay.
So guys, just so like I'm trying to show her current like supporters, like this that was in December. So she's saying the same stuff and she's recycling it and she's using it over and over and over again, and it must get old. I mean, I found myself cringing because I clicked on it today because I wanted to see if there was anything interesting, and I got a couple interesting insights out of it. But for the most part, it was just either dead silence or the same thing. And I think she said douche canoe, texted again. And we're going to go into some of douche canoe's quote unquote texts here. And I'm going to explain to you why. Sorry, I live on a really busy intersection and I have the windows open. And somebody with their ridiculous motorbike. But I'm going to tell you why I think that, you know, she needs to do a better job of crafting these texts for herself, because it's literally like perfectly crafted hate. Hold on, guys. Is my dog really doing this right now? Not today. Not today, Nana. Nana? Be a good girl. We'll go for a walk after, okay? Please? For mama? Okay, sorry, guys. Yeah, her nickname is Nana, and the neighbors, like, one of the little boys next door, because I live very in close proximity, and I was yelling at Nana, because her name's Molly, but I call her Nana, and I was yelling, and the kid starts crying and was asking why I was being so mean to my Nana, and I was like, oh no, it's a dog. Like, I'm not being mean. Because I was yelling at her because she ate something off the table, and I was like, Nana! Like, bad girl! But anyway, sorry. All right. Duper's Delight right there.
I made it fun just for me.
Bet you did, Tasha.
Go make a video about that. I'm putting every one of them under a microscope.
So I want this to be clear, because here she is, and I want everybody to know that this happened first. So she came on right after her aunt died and said that she was putting everybody under a microscope and everybody was fair game. Anybody that they even so much as mention on their channels is fair game. And there's a clip after that I want to show you guys, because honestly, I feel like a lot of creators use certain things for sympathy and to play victim. And there was one instance where the clip I'm about to show you, because I don't care if you like this creator or not, Natasha doing this to them was not okay, like in the slightest. And especially not like, you know, because I get like, you know, Natasha got mad because I'm talking about Lycan. So Lycan posted a picture of Natasha's daughter, but it was from like a screenshot of one of Natasha's lives that she had her daughter on with her. So it was a screenshot from one of her videos, and posted it and said, like, you know, recliner in training, which, I mean, I think that's funny. Like, I wasn't like outraged about it, but this was well before that. So here she is saying that anybody who's mentioned is fair game, but, you know, she's going to cry victim if the double standards make no sense. And then her response to that picture was to threaten and make money off of threatening to show inappropriate pictures of him. And she made quite a bit of money doing it. She made quite a bit of money. And then she never showed it. I mean, I don't know if she ever was going to. Part of me thinks she never was going to show anything, and she was just trying to get people to pay to see it. You know what I mean? Which really was really gross, honestly, if I'm, you know, and I don't care, like, if you like him or not, nobody should be doing that whatsoever. Like, that's not okay at all. We should not be we should not be showing things like that and holding that ransom to raise money to show somebody else's genitals. We just shouldn't be doing that. It's not appropriate for anybody. So, Natasha, but just listen to this, and this will come into play later.
Every one of them, one by one by one, we're putting them under a microscope.
I don't know why that she paused. It's so weird.
No, I'm not coloring. And we're going to pick apart everything about them, their lives, and every person that they mention on their channel. Every person. Merb wants to talk about me. Well, her husband's on her channel. And I'm pretty sure there's some things about her husband that she probably wouldn't want to be discussed. Guess what? I don't care. It's all coming out. All of it.
So how is that okay? Like, she's basically threatening to, like, you know, expose information about people simply because they talked about her. So if it's okay for Natasha to bring in people that are just like adjacent to the creator, then really there should be no outrage when it happens from the other way around. But I mean, I don't condone it either way. I do and I don't. You know, it really depends on the situation. Like, some of it I think is funny and I don't have an issue with, but some of it I'd be like, you know, no, that's really not cool. You shouldn't do that. But it really depends on the situation. But she really did. She asked her audience, I didn't include the clip, but she asked her audience to send her any information they had on the people that talk about her. And she's basically mobilizing her audience to dig and stalk other people for her benefit. And they did, you know, and that's not okay. And this is around the same time that she was outing other information that was really inappropriate, such as, you know, the article about Granny's Watching's dad. You know, that was another really big one that was completely out of line and inappropriate for her to do. But yet, you know, nobody can do anything to her because if it's done the other way, she'll cry about it and use it as, you know, cry victim. I don't know. You can't have it both ways, Natasha.
Her ex-ramblers have lots. Oh!
Your ex community members have lots to say about you, Natasha, too. And here's the thing. I don't think it's normal for a woman to have this many people that don't like her. And why is that, Natasha? Why is it that I get more viewers when I'm discussing you and they all come in because they hate your guts? Why is that? Normal people don't have that as a problem. Yet somehow you have these, you know, you might have a lot of people that support you, but you have just as many, if not more, who see you for exactly who you are and don't like you and like to come to these lives because they're interested in, like, you know, just the phenomena that is Natasha Cooper on here, which unfortunately she's not like the only one on here. Like, the YouTube, I'm sure, like, I don't know all of the corners of YouTube, so I'm sure there are many people just like her out there, but not that I've run into. So lucky for her. Let's see. Okay.
I know I had all those funds. Sure did. I had a second fund. Yeah. It was the same Christmas fund, but yeah. And then I had 2 B-Day funds. I've actually had 3. I've had 3 birthday funds. The casino was one of the birthday funds. And I had a Dalton fund. I don't lie.
Okay. Well, Natasha, so this was back in December because her birthday is in December. And, you know, what was her excuse doing these PayPal pools, these excessive amounts of PayPal pools back then? Now, like, she's going with this narrative of, you know, I'm only doing this because I have no other way of making an income on YouTube. Well, what was your excuse then? That you're just greedy? Because, you know, I'm not against people making money on here. You know, like I said, when I was more active on YouTube back in July, I mean, I didn't make a ton of money, but I was able to make enough to pay a bill, like, you know, a couple bills that I've been struggling to pay, and it was really helpful. And, you know, I got that. I didn't get that from, and you know, when I went to Texas, and that was helpful in helping me pay off things outright so I didn't have to rack up a debt. I mean, like, YouTube's been helpful, and I don't think that there's anything wrong with, you know, creators getting tipped for coming on here, because it does. It takes time out of your day, but it also depends on what your content is. You know, if your content is yelling and screaming and bullying people, I don't find that like a noble reason, but that's just me personally. And I know that other people may disagree, and that's okay if people disagree. But it comes to a point where you're just being like excessive and greedy, because at this point you were able to get super chats. So you were getting the super chats, you had the memberships. And then on top of that, you're doing these PayPal funds, as you said, that was like what? All from December? And these weren't like small change funds, by the way. Like, and then she had just raised the 20K. So I don't know. It feels excessive, and it feels like, like she said at the beginning, you either support me or you don't. And the kind of the messages she communicates is that if you support me, this is what you need to do to belong. And unfortunately, a lot of people fall into that. And I even fell into, like I said, I'm an educated woman. I mean, I'm in grad school. I have a bachelor's degree. I mean, I'm well educated. I'm pretty smart. I'm pretty aware of, what's going on and stuff. And I even fell victim to that very briefly. And in the back of my head, I had a little voice that was like, this is grifting. This isn't real. But for some, she's very good at what she does. She gets people to open their wallets. And, I don't consider myself to be awareness. I'm not trying to get people to stop supporting her. I mean, if people, I have had several people message me privately and say, I never thought of it the way that you put it in one of your videos, and it really made me think twice, and it really made me see things differently. And I mean, that's what matters to me. But I just like to talk about this because I have just insights on it that I want to discuss. I mean, I don't really have like an end game for it. I just do it because I can. I mean, it's a genre commentary, right? I mean, I don't really need to wait. I haven't. Okay. I don't really need to justify it. Those cold shoulder shirts kill me. I'm telling you. Did I hit play? Oh, yeah. Okay. She's just doing her dead silence. That's right. Here we go. So,
who would like to come up and help me critique Lycan's penis? Because that's what we're about to show. See?
So, I don't care if you like him or not. That is like, imagine hearing that this woman on the internet said that about you. Like, imagine hearing that. And then, like, people, like that whole situation, people blame our, like, technically, I guess, our side about how all of that went down. And that's, that's including Granny's watching and everything with the journal or whatever. But, like, imagine hearing that about either yourself or someone you care about. Like, my first response would be, like, I would be very angry. And, or, like, because people can be really good at playing off that they don't care about anything. But imagine if it was your genitals, regardless of, like, where they may have gotten that from, regardless of whether somebody had posted it or they posted it. I don't know the story behind it. I never, was that interested that I was going to go, like, look it up. But, that's not right. And what she did is she said that, and then she was getting money for it, and people were just throwing money. And all I could imagine in my head was a bunch of women on their phones, because I watch YouTube on my phone, with their fingers in, like, the positions to take a screenshot the minute that she showed it. And that's all I could think of. But, like, it was insane. Like, that was just not okay. And then she, people justified it, and they were like, well, then they shouldn't be talking about her. Well, there's a really big difference between talking about somebody and threatening to show their genitals and raising money about it. That's not okay. So, I mean, I just want to say that, like, do you blame people for reacting to that situation the way they did? It might not have been, like, the best way to react to it, but, I mean, I don't blame people. I would be horrified if that was me. If somebody told me that somebody was threatening to show pictures of me, I'd be like, excuse me? But I just wanted to show, because this is what this woman does. She was asking people to come up on panel to critique it. And let's not forget that she spent a better part of an hour and a half when after Jess had first come onto camera for the first time, she had a whole panel up there critiquing her body. I don't know how that's okay either. It's weird. It's weird. It's inappropriate. And I know that, like, there are some people that do make fun of her weight and her looks, and I get that. And I try not to do it. Sometimes I can't help myself, but I'm also not going to complain if it gets thrown back at me. So, but all right, let's continue.
For those of you who have just joined us, Lycan decided to put my child on his channel today.
I just want people to
And
see
he
the
put a
context.
picture up of my daughter, Hannah. And this is the picture that he put up. And he said, recliner in training.
It was a
with
screenshot.
picture of my child.
I think that's funny. And it, you know, she's okay. I don't want it to be on the screen for that long, but
She's looking like a man.
she was a creator at that point too. Let's not forget that either. Is that, you know, Hannah had a channel. Now I don't know why her channel's gone. I can't help but wonder if it's because it was under Natasha's name as well, because of course Natasha would be the one profiting off of somebody else's work. I can't help but wonder, because there's really no other reason as to why her channel would have been removed. I mean, I don't think Hannah was, besides selling makeup, I'm not really sure what else it could possibly have been. Like, she did book club and stuff. And I mean, at first I was, but if you're a creator, even if you're like my child and a creator, like, you're still a creator and an adult. But even further than that, people, like, she purposely brings people into, puts family and people like that, like, almost in harm's way, if that makes sense, because, like, she puts people in situations where, if there's going to be, and there are some crazy people on the internet who don't have boundaries. There's some crazy people on the internet who will take it to the next level, or there's people that think that's okay, or they think it's funny. And I mean, to each their own. Like I said, I'm not over here trying to be the morality police. I believe that people should make decisions for themselves. And that's up to you entirely. What I would do isn't always what somebody else would do. And I'm not going to judge you for it, or else it's like something really terrible. So, people you have free will, like, you do you. I just wouldn't do it. But she, like, that, if you guys are selling makeup together, and he took a screenshot of that, and it's not like he called her names. He said recliner in training. He could have said a whole lot of other things, but that's not what it was. And because of that, that justifies you threatening to show somebody's genitals. Makes no sense to me. I'm sorry. Doesn't make any sense. Not okay. Not okay.
And your wigs is ugly, and so are you. And bitch, please, you look better than me? Fuck. Where? In your wig hair? Bitch, please.
Well, she goes over people's looks too. So then again, I have to remind myself that this woman, like, crucifies people for their looks. And, spent an entire panel, zooming in on, she did it to Carolyn as well, zooming in on their body and critiquing. And yeah, so, I mean, that's cool. Oh, thank you, Hummer Muffin. I just got notification that you sent a super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And thank you, Rody Gal, for being on top of that, because I don't want people to feel like they're being ignored, because that's the last thing that I want. I just don't see it, and I feel bad, and I'm new at this, like, StreamYard and sharing videos and streaming, so, like, bear with me. I'm sure there's a way that I could see both, but until then, it's going to have to be, like, growing pains here. But she spent the better part of, like, an hour and a half. Like I said, she did a whole panel about Jess's body. She did a whole panel about Carolyn's body. So I have a hard time having, like, empathy for when people come at her for that. I'm just saying, I mean, maybe that makes me a terrible person, but unfortunately, if you're going to treat others like that, I mean, she's made fun of many other people's looks too. I'm just saying that, like, the worst that I've seen were the two that I just mentioned. Those were really disturbing, really. And I'm actually looking for some clips from both of those, because I wanted to, I think I have them. I have over 13. I have a lot of videos, guys. Between this and what I do for a living, I have so many clips. It's not even funny, which is why I'm trying to get them out there onto the YouTube so I can just delete it. Oh, so this is funny. I blurted out for one reason and one reason only, is that I don't really want to be scrolling her payment info, because I'm not doing that for her. I'm supposed to be the one making money off of your name, right? So people can't be having that on here, right? No, I'm just kidding, guys. But, I figured, like I said, if she's saying that I'm making money off of her name, then, I mean, I guess I could. I mean, I'd be okay with that. But look at her screenshot. Look at that, though. But this is like one of the weirdest rants I've ever seen her do. And Nightmare, I think you guys probably have seen them around. They're one of a subscriber in the community, and I believe that, I'm not sure what their name was, but that she She just says some ridiculous stuff, and I think obviously that's purposely spelled incorrectly, and I'm not sure what the reasoning behind it. I feel like it's like another creator said it that way. I feel like I've heard that before, but I don't know, so I'm not gonna say for certain. But anyways, let's listen. You guys are gonna get a good laugh at this.
Do I look like I'm crying Nightmare? What's a Nightmare? 4-4. Nightmare 4-4. Y'all have the dumb ass names I've ever witnessed. Is it the fact that you're ignorant, or can you literally just not spell?
It's a sense of humor.
I hope to the good Lord that you don't do it on purpose. Or that you do it on purpose. I don't know which is worse. Sheer stupidity or ignorant humor? Which? Am I a nightmare or am I a lying Sasquatch? Which is it? Or maybe I'm a lying Sasquatch nightmare.
I'm sorry. Oh, God. Look at her face.
And Laura looking like a man, she needs to go on over there with the whore and her married greaser. Because she fits right in. Hell, I don't know if she's a man or a woman, so I don't know which one of them will like her, but just jump on in and, send them a picture of your hoo-ha, blah, blah, or your wiener, and I'm sure one of them will fall in love. Because that tends to be, and seems to be, that, that's the thing for people to do. Send them a picture of your penis or your hoo-ha or your boobs, and you fit right in, and you're in the door.
That's a lot to unpack. First of all, she does have a habit of questioning people's gender on here, and I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't. She's just rude. I mean, you could hear, just listen how she talks about people, and then she expects people not to respond or talk about her in any way like that. Yeah, get the fuck out of here, Natasha. And and Natasha, here's the fact though. How am I making money off your name when I can't monetize these videos because of your mouth? Because of your mouth, not mine, yours. When I play your clips, some of your more vile ones, I can't monetize because you're so vile. So I'm not making a dime off of you from YouTube, or else I get super chats or whatever, and that's it. But yeah, and neither is anybody else if they're playing clips of you.
Whew.
This is an interesting one.
Bless your heart. Bless your heart. You poor little victim. How does it feel to be a snowflake that calls themselves a victim of a woman on the internet?
Wow, imagine that.
How does that feel? I'm nobody's victim.
Good to know. Hear that, her subscribers? She's not anybody's victim. You don't need to feel sorry for her.
And you want to talk about making a fool of yourself on the internet? You're calling yourself a victim of mine. Oh, I can bless anybody's heart, baby. Anybody's. I bet your parents are so proud to know what a puss they raised. I would be so ashamed.
I hate that.
So ashamed of my children if they ever called themselves somebody's victim on the internet.
So basically, isn't that like what your whole premise though was with everything? Was that like you wanted to make YouTube a better place for subs so they couldn't be victimized by the big bad bullies anymore? And everybody's supposed to be able to feel sorry for you because everybody's coming after you and talking about you, and nobody will leave you alone. And we talk about your money and your whatever and your MK Ultra, whatever the fuck. And everybody's always making fun of you. I mean, that sounds like playing the victim to me. Saying that somebody is looking around your house when the chances of that being YouTube related are slim to none. Saying that your door got kicked in. I mean, that sounds like playing the victim card to me, pretty much. So, and what really bothered me about that, honestly, wasn't even for anything that was funny. It was because, she's saying that she would be ashamed of her child if they came to her and was like, "Hey, I'm being bullied on the internet." I don't know. Like, I'm not sure how many of you guys have kids, let alone like teenagers, and the online bullying is something else. And I unfortunately, you hear more and more cases where a kid doesn't know to go or doesn't feel that they can talk to a parent about it, and really bad things happen. I mean, it's bad. It's bad. I mean, I've seen it with my own eyes, unfortunately, and you can't. I mean, kids are always on their phone, and you can't always be there to protect them or to help, or I don't even know. Like, you feel helpless, honestly, but because it's like, the bullying doesn't stop when they come home. But Natasha here is like, she'd be embarrassed if her child was to do that. I don't know. That didn't feel right to me, but to each their own, right? So
I'd probably whip their ass.
Oh, right. Okay. Not my parenting style.
Even if they were an adult. Bless it. Turned on each other. Now all of a sudden, you're all in different corners doing this and doing that. You're all a bunch of fucking liars is what you are. None of you have integrity. None of you have morals. None of you have a backbone. You blow in whatever direction the wind blows, and whoever you seem to think is in some semblance of power at the moment. Well, guess what? Ain't a fucking one of y'all got no power.
And neither do you, Natasha, because you're not supposed to be here, therefore you don't exist. You don't exist. You're not supposed to be here. So, Natasha, who? I'm still going to talk about, the behaviors, though. I mean, yeah, you don't have any power either. You're not supposed to be here. So speak for yourself. I don't agree with that statement. I mean, I certainly think that there are people on here that could use a backbone. That's for sure. But I wouldn't say it's the majority of people. I would say that most people on here are, to be a creator, you kind of have to have thick skin. You kind of have to be able to hold your own. And it's a learning process. It truly is. I mean, when I came on here, I feel like people come on here with these rose tinted glasses, feeling like, and you kind of watch them go through this process of almost becoming like a really bitter human being. And then you kind of get to the other side of that, which is where I'm at now, which is I'm doing what I want to do. I don't need all I need is to focus on what I'm doing and the content that I want to put out. Anything else is just whatever. And I don't know. I mean, no. I mean, that's just not my style. I mean, I can't say that it doesn't happen, but she didn't seem to have a problem when people, kind of were being, blowing in her direction to help her out. She didn't really care about that. And I mean, I don't necessarily see it as not having a backbone. I don't really see it that way for everybody. I see it more as some people are, like to make money moves, and it's for clout or subscribers or whatever. And we saw that when a lot of people went over to Natasha. And I think that's very calculated. I think people saw her maybe as that. So maybe she has a point here, but it's certainly not, she's not as important as she thinks she is.
Because y'all are powerless.
You're powerless. You
You're
don't
pieces of
exist.
Shit. Dregs of society. You're the kind of people that I wouldn't look twice at if I was out in public. I would look down my nose and say, ugh. And if that makes me stuck up or that makes me a snob, so be it. But
well, Natasha, if I was to see someone such as yourself out in public, I might have some thoughts going through my mind too. But it wouldn't be, what you're talking about. And maybe that makes me a horrible person. But to each their own. And to say that, like, do you know everybody that talks about you? Do you know everybody personally? Like, do you know where they come from and who they are and what they do outside of YouTube? No, you don't. You don't know that. So I don't know who you're calling dregs of society. Or, I mean, you could be stuck up all you want. I mean, then I can be judgmental too, right? So I'm sure a lot of the people that are watching this right now would have thoughts if they saw someone such as yourself approaching them in public.
That is how it would be, because I don't associate with trash.
Okay.
And that is exactly what all of you are. You can put on whatever kind of airs you want to and pretend as if you are something that you are not, but none of you have a clue what class and morals actually are. You have no idea what loyalty is. The only thing that you are loyal to is yourself and your need for attention.
Now, I can only speak for myself, of course, but I hate the fact that I get lumped into this because, like, that could be further from the truth. I mean, do you know me, Natasha? No, you don't. I'm not. I always laugh because it's like she says that the only people who talk about her like what she communicates is that anybody who talks about her is just trashy and, low class and, not intelligent. And I couldn't be further from those things. And to me, I mean, loyalty is something that you really do need to figure out here on YouTube, and it's complicated, and it's definitely one of those things that I'm talking about with the learning curve. But here's the thing, Natasha. Here's the thing. It's really, I mean, ultimately, like, you do when you have a channel, like, that's your channel. You have to be loyal to yourself first and foremostly when it comes to this, just like you are. So she should be able to understand that. And that doesn't mean that people can't have friendships, though. And I know that she wouldn't understand anything about having friendships on here and being loyal to people because people are just disposable to her. So I understand that concept wouldn't make sense to someone like herself. But, there are people here that do make connections. But I guess Natasha's not one of them, but we've seen that.
And you cannot stand when anyone else gets more attention than you do.
I mean, there's some people like that, but not
so in
many.
order to exacerbate the circumstances around whoever it is that you are currently dragging, you have to conjure up paranoid delusions and make it seem as if that particular person, whoever you're dragging currently, looks like they are the awfulest person that has ever been.
How interesting, because isn't that what you do to people that leave you? Isn't that what happens? Like, you are all nice to people, and then the minute they leave, all of a sudden you tell your community that they're either crazy or you never liked them and you never trusted them, and you make them out, you discredit them as fast as possible. And like I said 2 nights ago, the reason I think she does that is because, especially with people that have been around for a while, that are newer, who may have seen some things, she wants to take away your credibility as fast as she possibly can. Because her audience, if they have in the back of their head, well, Natasha said this person's crazy and needs to be in a mental hospital, or, Natasha said that this person, she never liked them and that they're, she's always never trusted them. They're not going to go look for themselves. And unfortunately, I mean, I can't speak for all of them, but I'd say a fair amount of them do not go look for themselves. And she wants to discredit people that speak out against her because it works for her. It makes it, so nobody believes a word that anybody else says. But what they're going to find out is if they were to watch my channel, if they were to come here, I'm not crazy. I'm not stupid. I'm not any of the words that Natasha likes to say. And I don't know. I think that people really should go look at things for themselves. And it's a whole wide world. It's a whole wide world, and not all of us just want to have be a dictator or the queen and have everybody. No. Some of us don't really mind if there are people that enjoy other channels and don't, think that we're so important that people can watch us and only us. And if you're not on YouTube, then people should put their YouTube on hold and not socialize with anybody because it's not in your chat. I forgot, right? That's people can only go to your chat.
But in reality, all of you are the same. low caliber trash to perpetuate and exacerbate things, to turn them into whatever your narrative is at the moment.
Isn't that what you do? That's literally what she does. Quite literally. What else, Queen? These silences are great for fair use. That's really what her content is these days. It's really...
So apparently I'm pissed off, they said, because nobody's buying and nobody's donating. I guess that's the newest thing.
How many times does she have to say that before you guys, like, I'm not talking to you guys. If you're in my chat, you're probably think the same way I do. But how many times do you need to hear that? And then, like, do you believe that every single time? Like, nobody is talking about her. You know, I'm doing commentary on some of her old stuff and the behaviors and things. And that's really all I see. I don't see anybody coming on here and dragging her at all, actually. And nobody's counting her money. Nobody is, like, you know, keeping track of her donations. Although you're going to see later in this video, she does just that to others. She counts people's money. She counts people's super chats. But, you know, that's her biggest thing. And it's time and time again. And she's been doing this for months now. Like, all anybody would have to do is take a look around and, you know, I don't know, that hashtag she likes to talk about. Go look up the Natasha Cooper hashtag. See for yourself. Nobody's talking about that.
About, according to them. That's interesting.
It is interesting. It's the craziest thing.
Interesting. And the current fund is at 1%. 1%. I know, Autumn. I just put the fund up and everything that I had out here was bought. Of course, I'm forcing people again.
You psychologically put pressure on people, Natasha. You don't force people, but you do put psychological pressure. And
I know, don't I sound so mad? I'm over here humming.
Oh, God.
I'm downloading this clip that Anna Clover sent me.
Oh.
I about pissed in my pants.
I wish I hadn't cut this off, because this clip was really funny. It was really funny. But I guess I stopped recording right when she was about to show this video that I'm a Clover. I hate even bringing this person up, because it's like, if you do, they show. But I mean, I know that people are going to be like, what are you hiding if I don't tell you? It was a video of a clip of one of Mrs. Portland's lives. So that was what that was. And then, so we're leaving that in the corner, and we're going to move on from that, and we're not going to mention that again. Okay. All right, moving on. But that's what she's talking about. And it was very funny. And it wasn't like making fun of her. It was literally from her live. And then there's this insufferable nonsense. So this is what makes her better than everybody else. So you're a real content creator, huh, Natasha? That's real content right there. Wow. Yeah, I mean, putting me to shame for sure. Wow. I mean, and to be fair, I mean, there might be people that enjoy listening to that. I mean, that might be somebody's cup of tea out there. There might be somebody who thinks that that's worthy of, you know, donating to, and they really enjoy that content and they really want to thank that creator. I mean, to each their own. I'm not going to content shame you either, but it's annoying as hell. And I don't know why I kept that in there. It's insufferable. I don't want to listen to, none of us want to listen to her humming.
La, 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 la. I'm telling y'all, get ready.
Okay. Oh, here you go, guys. You know how she likes to say that she doesn't know who I am? She loves to say that she doesn't know who I am. Well, here's a clip of her knowing exactly who I am from December.
So which is it? Is it
Well,
that nobody's buying anything? BeePlus says she's seen a lot more genuine kindness in those chats than she ever saw over here.
So there you go. You know who I am. So you can stop with that too.
With y'all. Oh, thank you. I just got another one. Thank you for the donatation. Oh my gosh. I cannot order a jacuzzi on Amazon. Y'all. Well, we've raised $100 of the thousands. Oh, somebody just sent me a text and said to make sure that I need to get my luggage monogrammed for the cruise.
For the cruise? Whatever happened to that cruise, guys? Whatever happened to that, Natasha? That was what? You mentioned that in what, January or some December maybe even? Whatever happened with that? I mean, people were donating to get your luggage monogrammed. What happened with that? Did somebody just buy you luggage and it's just like in your oh my God. Like I said, guys, during the holiday season, she flipped her camera around at one point to show something. And you could see it was like Florida. I should have gotten a screenshot, but at that point I wasn't like, I wasn't doing a channel or anything like that. I didn't start my channel till the beginning of January. And I didn't, get a recording. I didn't think to even do that. I mean, I've been hoping somebody did, but my message isn't getting to anybody who has it, but there was, it was like floor to ceiling boxes, Amazon boxes, like from floor to ceiling. It was something to behold. Like it was meme worthy. And I wish I did have that, but I saw it with my own eyes. So I can say absolutely without a shadow of a doubt that happened, but oh God, let's continue. What happened with that cruise? Thank y'all so very
much for helping me rate. Did y'all see the picture? Did y'all see the picture? It's the best part.
Oh, I don't have that in here, I don't think. I do have a picture of something else that was really interesting.
All right, hold on, let me show you the picture.
Okay. So this is recent. So this is during her, like, when she had a bunch of creators leaving her, like, when Whiskey and Dorothy and all of that. So this is from that, and this was really interesting. You want to know the real Natasha? We're about to meet the real Natasha.
I'll have to show you shit from Douche, Nikki. My mods have seen them all night.
What people need to understand is that she could be on her laptop, and there are websites where you could type in a text and it'll generate a phone number that'll text your phone, and she could make it say whatever she wanted, and she could make the phone number from wherever she wanted. People need to understand, and she knows that her audience, and I'm not trying to, like, I want to make it clear, like, I'm not trying to, say that people that are older don't understand it, because I don't understand some of this stuff. Like, this isn't something I'm familiar with, but her audience, if it's anything like mine, is going to be like ages 45 to 54. And I think hers might be a little bit above that. And, if I, at 34 years old, don't really understand all of that, then I can imagine that a lot of her audience doesn't realize that you can go on the computer and create a thing and message yourself. And she does have multiple phones, but like, people don't understand that, like, people can manufacture anything. I don't trust anything I see anymore. I don't trust anything I see. I can't. I've been burned too many times with people like showing fake stuff. And, she's just listen to this, like, it is just such perfectly scripted hate that there is no way in hell that anybody sent this to her but herself, because it checks every box on what would play on her subscribers' heartstrings, like things that they could relate to as to being heard about, such as weight, such as a couple other things, but you'll see.
The person who has been texting me just said this.
Yeah, here we go.
If y'all are going to listen. Wog has made $6,700 since sucking your ass. Jenny kept count and said it on a live several days ago. If you believe she isn't in on it, you're dumb. Go have a listen, scummy scammer. You read that to your community so they will feel bad and start donating.
Well, yeah.
Everyone knows how you work.
Yep.
Well, apparently, I don't work very well because nobody has donated.
Reverse psychology.
And
nice try. I'm sure it worked, though.
Still the same.
Oh, poor Natasha. Like, it's just too perfectly crafted and at the right times. No. Not going to change my mind. Douche Canoe doesn't exist, and neither does the Tooth Fairy or Santa Claus. Not going to change my mind. Or the Easter Bunny.
You are such a dumbass. You just admitted that you're Douche Canoe's brother. You're
Like-
probably Douche Canoe, to be honest.
What?
And then you send this. Everyone knows you made your own fake number, and you text yourself as
Yes.
Douche Canoe. And then you show your mods and lie when you're texting it to yourself.
She's telling the truth here.
First of all, I'm not wasting my fucking time making no damn fake numbers to text myself.
You sure about that? Then perhaps somebody in your family does it for you. But I still think it's you. It's like reverse psychology shit right here.
Ash, he probably has made that much.
Oh, because you're counting other people's money, aren't you, Natasha?
I know he made at least $2,000 for the guitar fund.
Oh, but people can't count your money? That nobody's doing, but, just saying.
And bird fingers.
Ah, yes.
Thank you. Oh, and here's this douche again that has sent a message. Packages were just delivered.
Oh, packages? Isn't this when you were complaining about
here's
financial
their-
hardships? And that, you just don't have any money anymore and your income has been completely taken away and you're struggling? But you're getting mountains of packages. Okay. When I found myself in the financial situation that I found myself in recently, one of the first things that I stopped doing, I stopped shopping online. And I don't get nearly as many packages as I used to. And in fact, like at all, I just get like a couple of things that I need here and there. Because, yeah. Well, of course she would come on here and spin a tale of something that other people can relate to and feel bad for her. And I just don't know how she sleeps at night with that, honestly. But I guess that's just what makes us different.
List. Showing the text proves nothing.
It doesn't prove anything.
You may douche up yourself to get donations and to let people know you're aware that they're not donating.
Exactly.
You aren't as smart as you think.
She's telling the truth here. And this is very clever of her to put it this way. So now she's making sure that she mentions it to her audience. So it kind of twists it in their mind that they won't think that. You guys know what I'm trying to say? I have a hard time explaining it, but it's reverse psychology. If you don't know what that is, Google it and apply it to this, and it makes perfect sense. And nice, Natasha. Well played, but she is telling the truth. She's literally admitting this right now. Like, this is literally her confession.
Also, your makeup skills are subpar.
But she's got to put this.
And your skin is gross with shit brown blotches all over.
Yep.
Do the community a favor. Next time Hannah squeezes into a bikini and not show any of us. Did she have to butter herself up to get that thing on?
Do you guys notice how that's like crafted hate? Have you heard anybody talk like that? Like, I don't know anybody who would like bother taking the time to craft. And do you guys notice how that like checks off every relatable box that they could like check down to, relate with her audience and make them mad because, you guys know what I'm saying. I don't think anybody was saying that at all. Like, why would Douche Canoe continue to text you when they know that it works at getting you donations? If somebody really didn't like you that much, they would stop. Like, it makes no sense. And if people, like, I would love, if I knew how to do a poll, I would do that. But, like, I genuinely want to know, like, do her subscribers really think that Douche Canoe is really this person who is, put a 1 in the chat if you think that Douche Canoe, they truly believe that he exists and that he's bullying Natasha. Or put it 2 if you think that they, in the back of their minds, know that it's not real, but they just go along with it anyways. Because I really don't know. Because I've seen responses in her chat that kind of indicate either or. But I mean, I'm just at a loss at this point, and she's still doing it. She did it today.
Told you, if you mess with mine, I will mess 10 times more with yours. You can't even tell your daughter is pregnant. She just looks fat.
See, though, I mean, is that not perfectly crafted hate?
Now, I know exactly who this is.
Is it you? Is it a woman who sits in a
And you're an
recliner?
idiot because you just gave yourself away.
Yes, you did, Natasha. Yes, you did. It's annoying. This always makes me laugh.
Lena posted it on her community tab, and I know damn well Case Discussion's seen it. Well, maybe not. I reckon today she probably can't see. Every day she's got some new ailment for somebody. I ain't never in my life. She needs to go to MRB's channel. Case Discussion is perfect MRB material. She fits right in there. Hypochondriac, always something wrong with her. Go over there.
Isn't that kind of like what you do, though, Natasha? And I don't really see it the other way, but like, it's literally always something going on with you. Always. There was, and I mean, I just thought that was very rude of her to say in the first place, what she said about Case Discussion. But I mean, I've played this clip before. I don't expect good things from Natasha at this point. I'm not surprised. But, that's what you are. It's every day. There's something new. There's something new that's wrong, that's been done to you, some injustice or some horrible, like, a tragedy to befall you and your family. And it's one thing after another. It is literally a series of unfortunate events. I am starting to think that you are Lemony Snicket. I'm not even joking. Like, it's always something new. So I don't know, like, how you would, like, say that anybody else. I mean, if they want to talk about patterns, you want to talk about patterns, Natasha. I mean, you should really take a look in the mirror first.
Y'all can share ailments. Oh, yes, Bad Santa. I'm a Sasquatch. I sure am. I'm a lying Sasquatch NC.
Oh, that always makes me laugh. And then her face, she's just like...
It's pinned at the top.
There we go.
I didn't set a goal for it, so I guess I should. I don't even know what it's at. I was so upset last night. And I want to clarify to you why I was upset and hurt. I don't give a shit that the dude gets memberships.
Yes, you do.
I was upset about my channels being gone.
Can we talk, though, about how anybody at this point can still believe that she did nothing wrong? She said today, that she doesn't have her channels because of nothing of her own doing, that she did nothing wrong, and this is just because people don't like her. That doesn't even make sense. It has been how long now? And you have attorneys, which should speed along the process, like, tremendously. Yet, you still don't have those channels. So, I don't understand why you can still say, I don't know anybody who's lost their channels and, like, that continually gets taken down every time they monetize because it alerts YouTube. It's nothing to do with people reporting her. Like, she reports on herself by monetizing, which is why she's not anymore. But if you didn't do anything wrong, you'd have your channels back by now. And I'm not sure how people don't see that. Like, take a look at the rest of the channels in this community. You don't think that her community has mass reported, Granny's Watching or Dorothy or Lycan or any, you don't think that those people have been mass reported by Natasha's community or anyone else? Like, let's be honest. Yes, they have. Yet their channels are still here. So if you weren't doing something wrong, why aren't you here? Makes no sense. Makes no sense. And you have a much larger audience, according to you, and you're very good at mobilizing them. So you can't tell me for a second that, like, I just wish people could open their eyes. I don't understand how people still buy that narrative.
0.75%. So I'll set a goal for 35% and see if we can meet it for today. I don't care who that he gets memberships. What I care about is that I can't anymore.
Oh.
And that my channels were taken for no reason and my income is gone, other than whoever is generous and decides to send PayPal. That PayPal link is the only way I have of getting any income from the lives that I do here.
Oh.
That's it.
Well, Natasha, what I really have wanted to say to you is that, she keeps saying, I have another clip of her. I don't think it's in this video, but she's like, why should I have to change what I do? Because people don't like me. Well, here's the thing, Natasha, when people get fired, right? When people get fired, you know what they can't do? They can't stick around on, their job site and refuse to leave. It's not how the real world works. And like, nobody hired you to be here. You choose to be on here. It's a privilege to be on here. And if you abuse that privilege, it's not a right. And if you break the rules, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. And Chicory, hello. And sorry, my cat is being very friendly. He likes to knead like my stomach and remind me that I haven't gone to the gym in quite some time. He's very good at reminding me of that. But yeah, Chicky, come on. You can't just it's oh my god. And here, she's still saying it. She's still saying she did nothing wrong. Well, people who did nothing wrong don't lose their channels. Like I said, I know people who actually put out controversial content, like really controversial content. Like stuff that like I don't particularly even agree with the fact that they do. And I mean, it's to each their own, right? I mean, I'm not going to censor or judge. And these aren't people that, we have. These aren't people anybody knows. This is like people I know personally. And yet somehow they've never been booted off of social media. But Natasha has.
Unless somebody decides to become a member on Patreon.
Chicky, come on, sweetie. Oh, you're stinky. Why are you stinky? Chicory, move.
And somebody sent me an email today and said that I had hundreds of people who hate me. Hundreds. And that I needed to understand that hundreds of people hate me.
Why is that? Why is that, Natasha? Normal people don't have that.
Oh, email senders. Hundreds of people may.
And why is that? How is that something? Oh, yeah, Chicory, get off me, please. I'm sorry. Chicky, sweetie. Chicky.
I'm going to tell you a secret.
Oh, I think I cut this out. Yeah, damn it. She's just saying she has a lot of support, I think, is what she said after that. Chicory, stop. Chicky.
But he's not.
Sorry, guys. The cat is being
This is
very
my
annoying.
life. This is my channel.
Okay.
This is my community.
Your community.
And if people want to call me a dictator, if people want to call me a tyrant, people want to say I'm controlling,
just a little bit.
Say I'm a cult leader, whatever. Maybe I am.
Oh. Chicory, please.
I'm not some poor dumb bitch airhead who simpers and he-he's at a man.
Chicory.
And that ain't me.
Chicory,
and it won't ever
stop. Oh my god. Chicory, if you knock that lamp over, I'm going to be very, very, very upset.
One. That's all I can say. Because I ain't it. And I won't ever be.
She was very upset in this live.
And y'all keep thinking that Viv is dumb and she doesn't understand and she doesn't know what's happening and she don't know this and she don't know that.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Oh. No.
He saw my community.
Well, there you go, guys. That was some proof for you. That's some proof for all the people that say that I live with my parents. Oh, that was my dad texting me, asking me about how I made out with figuring out the utility bills. So, there you go. There's proof for you.
It's a cash cow. Just like.
Because unlike what she says, some of us are adults.
Who has used it for that. He got memberships.
Oh, poor Natasha.
Galore.
Oh, see, she does watch everything.
Super chats. PayPals, Cash Apps
But who's counting?
that he never got until he started screaming, "My Tasha."
That was weird.
When
But
I
like,
don't
what
even
did she
really know
expect?
everybody that you can down.
Oh, like you do?
You have talked about the damn makeup that we're selling, talking about how it's used. Lady, you're selling moldy, mildewed napkins.
But what have you said about Carolyn, Natasha? I'm sorry. Somebody's saying that you're selling used makeup. Compared to what you've said, I mean, I don't think it's a comparison. Especially with what you're about to say, which I don't know why this is appropriate in any way, shape, or form to be speaking. And if somebody was to speak about you this way, you'd have a big problem. Like that quote that was just on your little avatar, like, expecting somebody to be okay with something you wouldn't find okay. Well, this is a great example of that.
And I'm sure they smell like a horse's asshole. Sort of like you look. Serial killer, I know why she's doing it. She needs views because hers suck. Your channel sucks, lady. Your channel sucks like you wish you sucked. And I'm sure your husband wishes.
Come on.
I don't give a shit. I'm over it. I told y'all. When I came back, I was coming back. And there ain't no relenting. This bitch hasn't shut the fuck up about me the entire time. And I'm going to tell you something else. Shells from the beach, you dumbass, aren't meant to be decoupaged with stupid-ass napkins. That
Why not?
shit is ugly. And it is literally geriatric crafting that you do in the old folks' home.
Who cares? Who cares? First of all, I don't know what decoupage is, so I mean, I shouldn't be talking, but like, everybody has a different opinion of what they like as decor. I mean, I personally think that like your decor is quite ugly myself, Natasha. Just saying, I think the color of your recliner is like, ugh, like no thanks. That's not something I would choose. I mean, to each their own, right? I mean, I don't know what decoupage is, but like the ladies over there know what like they like to craft. So I mean, I try if they know if that's what they're doing, then that's how it's supposed to be, as far as I'm concerned. So I don't know why, and who cares if it's something that people do at old folk? Like, who cares? Oh, like her biggest thing, she loves to age shame too, and I find that so interesting. Like, especially when like if her analytics, which I believe her analytics are probably very similar to mine, would say that her audience is probably older women. And I can't imagine. I don't know. Let's continue.
I mean, I realize you got one foot in the door there.
Really?
But, come on. That is the ugliest shit. The only time you get usual nasty bitch is when you put my name in your title. That's it.
That's all she cares about.
You can't get views any other time. I can talk about anybody, anything, and get views.
Really? You didn't get a whole, I mean, not gonna lie to you guys. I mean, the point I wanted to make, and I'm sure it's gotten more views than I've gotten now, but like when she did her true crime the other day, when she did her revisiting the Watts case, when her live was over, she had less views than I did when my last live was over. And I have like a quarter of her like subscriber count, or as far as she's concerned anyway. So what's up with that, Natasha? It doesn't seem like people are really digging your true crime. Even after the Petito case, you tried to do the missing children's one, and I know a lot of your mods have tried to tell you ways to make that more engaging, to maybe make people feel invested in the stories of those missing children. So maybe you guys could make a difference, because I know that's what some of your mods did actually care about. Because I've spoken to a few of them, and some of them really do care about cases, and they do care about these kids, and they really saw you having such a large audience as a way that they could maybe make a difference. But instead, you just thought that you knew better, and you were just going to show the missing child website, and nobody cared. Which, I can't say that that's not how I predicted it to go, but you didn't have a whole lot of views with that either. I think he had like, and I'm not like, I shouldn't be talking because, like, you know, I mean, 50 people in the chat is 50 people in the chat, but with a channel that has almost 30,000 subscribers, that's really bad. So I don't know. I mean, I just think she has this over, like, inflated self, like, image of importance, and it's just, I don't know. I don't really like people like that. I don't like people that like to tell people how much better than you they are, and, like, you know, they always have to be better at everything. You know that person that always just has to one up you at everything. Like, everything that you do, they did the same thing but better. You guys know what I'm talking about. Those types of people. You know, they always have to outdo you, and I feel like Natasha's one of those people.
You constantly look like you smell something bad, and I don't know if it's your ass or if that's just how your nose really looks.
She likes to make fun of people's noses too. You can make fun of mine, Natasha. I know. I have, like, it's not like a beak. I don't have a. My nose was broken and it was never reset, so it's, like, kind of bent. But I'm not ashamed of it. I mean, I don't care. You know, I have very European features. I mean, I am Russian and German, so I mean, I'm not. I don't really care. That's usually what people first go for with me too. But she, like, has this weird thing. She likes to talk about people's noses. I don't understand it. She really does, actually. She really does. She's talked about Carolyn's nose. She's talked about a couple people's.
But I'm about over it. I told y'all, every one of you, if y'all didn't lay off when I came back, oh God, now I gotta be nice.
You were ever nice? Oh, see, I'm already on here much longer than I thought I would be.
Oh, yeah, she didn't play the part where they were talking about Mariah.
Nope. Oh.
She didn't play the part. And she said that she is fantastic at true crime.
When she says that she was talking about Mariah, so I went back and looked because I like to get both sides of the story, and I like to see, you know, because I'm not going to say people are innocent if they're not innocent. I'm done doing that. Like, you know, I'm going to actually do my homework and look. And in this particular instance, all she said was that Natasha had a niece that she was trying to adopt. That was literally the extent of it. That was the extent in this instance. So I don't understand that. I mean, like I said, I get annoyed, quite frankly, with the people that, you know, like to scream about that kind of stuff. So it's like you say, oh yeah, Natasha has a daughter. Oh, don't talk about my child. You know, oh, you know, like, it's like you can't even mention that somebody has a child without them thinking that you're, like, criticizing them, their parenting, or like, I don't know. It's weird to me. It's weird to me because, like, I don't really have an issue with that. Like, you know, it's really not talking about my child. If you say, oh, BeePlus has a child, like, I'm not going to be like, I'm bringing kids into it. Like, that's weird. I don't know. That's just me, though. I mean, maybe other people don't think that's weird, but.
Bitch, you are a true crime.
Oh.
The only thing you know how to do is read a newspaper article.
And you stream the news.
The only reason you had any success with true crime is because you hooked your wagon to the Rushes.
And that's really where this stemmed from. And I played that interview. So there was where all of this really started was Natasha had tried to get into the Watts case, and she was, you know, she would go, I know she likes to criticize other people for building their channels by going up on other creators' panels and stuff. I know that was a recent rant of hers, that she thinks that that's just horrible and that those people are the worst, but yet she was going up on a lot of larger true crime panels, trying to get, you know, networking, trying to get her channel out there. And she had been doing these, like, clickbaity kind of titles of her lives that were disrespectful and not true. And her excuse for it was that she had put a question mark at the end. So therefore it's not inappropriate. But Carolyn called her out on it, and she was upset about it because, like, I think she wanted an in with this case. And so, like, she wanted to be able to have the Rushiks, like, you know what I mean? And she thought that made her look bad to them, and that was Carolyn's fault. So she went up on her panel and they had a discussion, and that is where this all started, was the jealousy about that. That is, you're not going to change my mind. I played that interview. You can, I mean, Carolyn doesn't delete anything. So, I mean, it's still up there. I think it's in the description of the video that I did on that. So, I mean, welcome to go watch it for yourself if you're curious as to where it started. But yeah, that's where it is, and she's very bitter about that, and she shows that a couple of times.
You're not talented with true crime. And here's you another challenge, because I've said it 5,000 times. I'm going to challenge you again. You said you wanted to challenge me to stand beside you in a bathing suit. See, unlike you, Merb, with your hook nose, said you wanted to challenge me to a 30-mile bike ride. Put your wide ass on a bike and let's do it. I'll do it. Hell, damn ambulance might have to come, but I'll damn sure.
Don't do it, because if the ambulance has to come, she'll use it to sadfish. So, well, don't do that.
Right, because guess what? Unlike you, I'm not a pussy. And I will stand my fat ass right beside you in a bathing suit.
Oh,
I don't care because I am confident in myself.
Are you though?
It ain't got nothing to do with what I look like on the outside. My confidence is inside.
You know, though, like I can't decide sometimes. Sometimes I think she has this, like she's very narcissist. She is a narcissist, in my opinion. But you know, I can't treat or diagnose anything. You know, just saying, in my opinion, she exhibits many signs of narcissistic personality disorder, but of course cannot diagnose. So that's completely my opinion and my speculations. But, you know, then in like the other part, I'm like, this woman, maybe she's just very insecure and she just, I don't know. I mean, I can't imagine that somebody can be that narcissistic, but like, yet here she is. So I don't know.
You ain't got none. Probably ain't got none, but that's besides the point. That's probably why you so damn looking like you constipated all the time. I've already offered to buy you a rose. Oh, and I know it's offended your delicate sensibilities because Lord forbid that we talk about anything of a sexual nature over here because you can't even say dick. She can't even say dick. She says, oh, nothing else. Instead of saying bullshit, she says bullshite. She's a dumb bitch. She tries to act like she's so good. You might as well say it.
Well, Natasha, you were quite upset at one point that I had spoken about your sex life. Yeah, you thought that was very inappropriate of me to have spoken about your sex life when I was making jokes. You know, I had said a couple comments in some videos that I'm not sorry for. I'm not sorry, and I don't think it was inappropriate. I think it was funny. But you were upset about that, and you mentioned that in the live. And but yet you find it okay to talk about other people's sex lives. So I don't really understand that either. Like, it's either okay or it's not. And at least like mine is, I'm joking around. Like, I'm not like, I don't know, but that's pretty much the end of it. I think she's just dead silent for the rest of it. So let me hop off here. And I actually went through that whole video with you guys. Look at that. Okay, now I can go into the chat and whatnot. Hello. Let's see. Yep, Julie, exactly. Yet she accuses, I always forget I can do this. Yet she accuses other channel creators how low class they are. Right. Coming from absolute trash. That is a laugh. Exactly. Exactly. That is so true. So true. Yep, Melanie, exactly. She talks about everyone's everything, but she sure loves to talk about private parts. Yes, she does. And she's like obsessed with all of that. Like, I mean, I don't know if we've all forgotten about the fact. At one point, though, she has a comment where she's saying like that I don't know, she's shaming somebody who like, I don't know the context of it, but like, I'm hesitant to even like say it because I don't know the context, but that there was from that from like the Rambler community, there was like some sort of like toy, like sexual toy reviews on Amazon or something. I don't know. And she was like, they were all talking about that as if it's like something like, yet she sits on there and like, have we forgotten about, you know, actually I might even have it. Have we forgotten about this? Like, have we forgotten about this? Like, I don't know. I mean, what is that? Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I know I just gave you guys nightmares or nightmares. Yeah, zero boundaries. That's right, Remy. She has zero boundaries. Yep. When it comes to her, yep, you are absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. And I just, it is, yeah, the rose, Melanie. Exactly, the rose. Yep. Isn't that something, Remy? I mean, you know, You'd think that that would be, I don't know. That's what she was doing in the middle of the night. So, I mean, I don't know. Sarah Jane, yeah, yep. And Natasha, I agree with you though, and I think Natasha does not. It seems to be like a pattern, and there seems to be like this sense of entitlement of like, you don't have to work for anything. Like you can always cut corners and find the easy ways of doing it. You know what I mean? And it is entertaining, Kat. And here's the thing though, is that like she used to be funny and really entertaining, and like she had that mean streak, and I always like, but she used to actually like she used to make me laugh. She doesn't make me laugh anymore. She says I'm boring, and that's okay. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I mean, I find people boring that other people don't. I mean, it's personal preference. It's fine. I know that's like her biggest insult at me and Dorothy's, but I mean, whatever. I mean, I don't mind, but like, that's what I think she's boring now. Like she doesn't even do like content, it is just, yeah. I mean, at least, yeah, Natasha is not good at true crime. Yeah, well, I agree. I mean, I think that she's very jealous of other people that do have success at true crime. I do believe that. And that seems to be one of the things that ticks her turtle the most, is other people being successful at true crime. That nothing gets to her quite like that, or other people getting money. That is from her community. Like that is also something that grinds her gears. You can clearly see that. Yeah, Kellyanne, I remember the parody panel, and she used to be funny. I can't help it. I mean, there are times that I would click on it. It would be like 2 a.m, and everybody would be in their little box, like when she's playing the stroking song, and everybody would be dancing. And I'm like, this is great. Like, this is hilarious. But it's not like that anymore. It's become one big circus and cycle of trying to get as much money as possible. And, I mean, I guess if but here's the thing, like, she's made it so if people leave, she calls them out, and nobody wants that to happen to them. Nobody. She has generous people. She went through the list. I did play that like 2 days ago, but like, people like Gentleman Jack, and who are very generous, they're seeing other people that were very generous, like Scarlett, who left, and then all of a sudden Natasha's tearing them to bits. And nobody wants that to happen to them. Nobody wants that. I mean, I don't really blame them. I mean, it sucks though. It's because she puts on this thing where people feel like they have to pay to be part of it. And like I said, she got into my head too at one point. And I'm not stupid. Like, I'm not easily fooled. But there are some people on here that are very, very good at what they do. And she is one of them. Yeah, Ruth Ann, your husband can't stand her voice. Yeah, that's fair. I've heard that from a few people. A few people like roll their eyes. I would be lying if I said that, like, if I'm in the vicinity of anybody and I play that, everyone's like, why are you subjecting yourself to it? And I'm like, because yeah, it's money every day. You're right. Back then it just wasn't as obvious. You're absolutely correct. You are absolutely correct. And that's perfectly, she called you out for nothing. Yeah. Like, and that's, a lot of subs don't like that. I mean, I wouldn't like that half the time though. I mean, I don't usually bring people's comments up. And I think CJ actually mentioned this today. I caught a little bit of the end of her live, and she was saying that like she saw a poll that people didn't like their comments being brought up. And I mean, I personally don't, because like I write novels and I get embarrassed, but like, master of manipulation. But yeah, she calls. I wouldn't want to be called out, because then her audience turns on you, and that's not fun for anybody. Nobody wants that to happen to them. And she might not tell them to do it, but she knows it's going to happen. So yes. I appreciate that, Gary, because that's what I try to do. That's what I try to take, like a different stance, like just to do things a little bit differently, instead of like, I'm not here to call her out. I'm just here to analyze the behaviors and have a conversation with people and give my 2 cents. Yeah. And I know she has a problem with it. And if she didn't have a problem with it, then she wouldn't talk about it. So clearly it bothers her that people talk about it. And, she's trying a whole lot of different tactics to kind of throw people off. It's interesting. It's interesting. Yeah, she is always bitching. And the long pauses, I know it is boring. The long pauses are just, I actually was trying to get through one of her lives. It was either today or yesterday. And I kept hitting the fast forward button, and I kept hitting it. And every time I would hit it, And then it was all pauses. And then I was like, okay, maybe I'm doing it wrong. So like I started sliding the thing, to different time points. And every one that I landed on was just dead silence. And I'm like, what are you really? What she's doing is she's hosting a place for people to chat. And she's profiting off of that, which is clever of her. It is clever. I mean, but her business model isn't sustainable. So unfortunately, though, Natasha doesn't care. But what she's seeing now is the fruits of that unsustainable business model, is the turnover that she's getting, these people that don't like her, these thousands of people who don't like her. That is the result of her with this unsustainable model. And at first, I don't think it bothered her, but it's getting to the point where there's so many of them that I think it does start to bother her. Unfortunately, it's not stopping her. It's not stopping her. Yeah, the pause is right, Gary. It's like, I wouldn't do that to you guys. I mean, I don't know. Like, I like to talk though. Like, there's no silences with me. I don't shut up. I could talk for hours. I had somebody come in here once and they were like, how do you talk for this long? And I'm like, I really don't know. I really don't know. I could talk for hours and hours and hours. And anybody, like, I like to talk. I'm really quiet if you don't know me. But once you do, yeah, if a psychiatrist analyzed her behavior, what would they say? I'd be interested to know that. I mean, I don't think any psychiatrist could or psychologist could come on here and do that, and keep it kosher with that. Like, I don't think they could do that legally. But it would be interesting to know, like, unofficially, that kind of thing. Yeah, she is right. Yeah, well, she was, she thinks people are jealous of her, and that's just not the case. Like, and I'm not claiming to be an awareness channel. I never claimed to be awareness. So I'm not trying to, I mean, I think people generally know. They just want, I mean, sometimes it's nice to understand the behaviors a little bit. And I also have tons of clips. So like I said, I don't want to be a clip channel. So I am trying to, oh, okay. Yeah, Rudigal, I have to go to bed too. I have to get up early and do some stuff tomorrow morning. Hopefully look at some washers and dryers because mine died and I've been living without one for a while now. So I'm going to go take a look and see if there's any that are in my price range and figure out how to do that. So I'm going to get up early to do that. But yeah, I mean, it is just, oh my God. Natasha, nobody's jealous of her. Nobody's jealous of her. A lot of people are just sick and tired of her being on here and just making everything toxic. And she won't go away. She won't go away. Like, at this point, would it really matter to us if she had her channels back or not? I mean, it's not like she ever left. And I feel like she makes more, it just gives her stuff to sadfish about. It's always one thing or another. It's like these people are just, I mean, and we're really not trashy people. Like, I mean, I can only speak for myself and the people that I experience. I mean, maybe there are people calling her out that I don't know about, but I have, I don't see the people calling her out being trashy about it or being like, dregs of society. I don't see it like that. But yeah, Christmas. Yeah, it is. It's going to be difficult for a lot of people. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit, and it's very true. It's very true. Yeah, there will be. I mean, she also said yesterday or today, she's like, "What do these people do to help their communities?" Well, here's the thing. First of all, I help people in real life. I'm not helping people on the internet right now. I have been burned far too many times to help people on the internet right now. And it's unfortunate that happens, but I do help people in real life. And if it's people I know and I trust and I know that they're not scamming me, but I have a big heart and I'm very generous when I can be. And unfortunately, this Christmas, I'm not in a position to help anybody myself, but I do what I can. But yeah, that whole last year, I'm telling you guys, I don't know who I bought for. I bought for 5 different people actually. And I hope it helped their Christmas. That's all I can tell myself. So I don't think anybody wants to go through that again. And it sucks that there are people that ruin it for people that, actually, need help. And we're using that the right way. But, here we are. It's YouTube. What do we expect? Unfortunately. But yes, I do need to get off of here. But I really appreciate everybody for stopping by. And make sure to hit that like button. That's a really easy way to help me get into the algorithm and show me that you like my content and encourage me to come on here a little bit more. So I appreciate each and every one of you, and I will be on with the next part of my video either tomorrow or the next day, and we'll go through more of the clips and stuff, and we'll have a conversation. And I'll make sure to be on here and talk to you guys a little bit more next time as well. Yeah, Ruthann, there is nothing to be jealous of. Exactly. Good night, Kellyanne. Bye, Kat, and bye, everybody else. And thank you so much. And thank you so much, guys. You guys are all amazing. And I will see you guys very, very soon.